Nimble 5e has been dominating Backer Kit the last month, with raising over 180,000 US dollars out of the 5,000 US dollar goal they set, with almost 3,000 backers and 6 more days to go. But in my first video about Nimble RPG, or Nimble 5e I should say, I didn't cover everything that I want to cover for this RPG. So with this video I wanted to take a quick look at the preview classes they have for this RPG. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi there fellow roleplayers and game masters, my name is Mr. Tarask and this is Nimble RPG or Nimble 5e. It's on Backer Kit right now, it's been raising a lot of money, and you might have seen my first video on this last week or so, because it was quite a popular video and people were really giving some really positive comments on that video and on Nimble RPG. In general, it was so positive and so well received by the community that Nimble, the people behind Nimble, actually are sponsoring this video you're watching right now. Yes, they're sponsoring this video, giving me the chance to look deeper into it and show more of it to you, my viewers, and give you my opinion, because this video is not scripted. There's nothing that I should say in this video. There is some stuff in here you will notice in a second that I'm on the fence about. I will point out some things that I don't necessarily agree with per se, but overall I really like it, and that's why I want to thank Nimble really quickly for giving me the chance to really dig deeper into this on my channel, because yeah, I really like it, and I wanted to take a quicker, a deeper dive into like the preview classes they have in here, because in my first video I only talked about like the Kickstarter itself, the Backer Kit campaign itself, and like the general rules of the game. For example, I talked about the fast attack system where you don't roll to hit, you just roll your damage dice, and that's what you do. And it is up to the player to spend like an action point to negate that damage, to try to defend from that damage, all of that stuff. How I first didn't like that, but then looking deeper into that with like the action points and the defense system, I really now really like it. It's really fast, it's really cool. Also the critical hit system is really cool. The fact that you roll a 1 on your damage die is always a miss is really cool. I think the math behind it really feels fast, it feels quick, but it feels the same kind of rewarding as 5e does, and it also feels really, really familiar. But with this video, I wanted to just go over the classes really quickly. So if you haven't seen that first video, make sure to click that. It will be here somewhere, because they have a few preview classes in here. The Berserker, the Cheat, the Mage, the Oath Sworn, and that's it. And then there's spells that you can use for the classes that cast spells. So the Oath Sworn is the Paladin, basically. The Mage is the Mage, the Wizard. The Cheat is Rogue, and of course the Berserker is kind of like the Barbarian. Maybe is a bit of like a combination between a fighter and a Barbarian. Yeah, I also just want to say I really, really dig the art, especially like, I don't know, there's something really cool about this wizard. I don't know, this really, 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 really screams wizard for me. I would just want to play this guy. Just use this art as a reference for the GM and my fellow players. I'm playing, this is the dude I'm playing, Bob. I should give him a better name, but basically this is the dude I want to play. So yeah, I want to dig a little bit deeper into the classes. If you want to download this for yourself, you can, link description below, and you can just start playing it immediately, because there's enough information here so you can start playing, right? I just have to check really quickly that you're still seeing what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing what you're seeing, and all that stuff. Where's my screen? Right there. So let's look at the Berserker. I really like how they set up almost every class in like the same way. First of all, everybody gets a subclass at level 3, but then the Berserker, for example, has Savage Arsenal, which are a few like extra powers or extra abilities, some active, some passive you can get. But the Cheat has the same thing, but it's just called underhanded abilities. Same thing, same ID. The Mage has the same thing, but it's called Spell Shaper, and then the Oath Sworn has Sacred Decrees, right? So it is the same kind of system, it just has a different name, and I like that in an RPG. That is something that I've never liked in vanilla D&D 5th edition. How all of the classes feel completely different. I like that my classes feel different. I like that a wizard feels like a wizard and a fighter feels like a fighter. But the uniformity, is that a word? Probably it is a word, between the classes, between when everybody gets their thing. It's really important for me. It's just, I don't know, it feels better that way. And I've never liked it for 5th edition because, like, when am I getting a subclass? I need to look for when do I get a subclass? Oh, when am I getting this? When am I getting that? With this, it's easier to remember. Tales of the Valiant is doing it really well as well. Everybody gets a subclass at the same point in time. And the Berserker, for example, let's just go over the Berserker real quick. So you have a hit die, and you start at 20 hit points. So, which is higher than you normally start out at for 5th edition, but that's because, like, almost all hits hit you, right? So you're getting damage at the start of, like, the first encounter, right? You are getting damage, so you need probably a little bit more hit points. Your weapons are strength based. You don't have armor. Your key stats are strength and dex, and your saves are strength and will. So basically, you have your Rage, you have your Intensifying Fury. At level 3, you have your subclass. At level 4, you have an Enduring Range, all of that stuff, right? Intensifying Fury is real cool. At the end of each of your turns, if you are raging, roll 1d6 and set it aside. This is your Fury die. Add it to every attack you make. There is no limit to the number of Fury dice you can accumulate this way. If your Rage ends, your Fury dice are lost. I really like that in combination with the Rage, because the Rage, enter Rage, it costs you an action. So an action point, basically. Your armor is set to your strength plus dex. Gain that much temporary hit points. These effects end when your Rage ends. Your Rage is set and ends if you score a critical hit when you drop to 0 hit points, or if you go 1 round without dealing damage or entering your rage. So the Intensifying Fury is really cool in combination with the Rage. So when you read the Intensifying Fury, like, by itself, it's like, holy shit, you can, like, really stack, like, a bowl of d6s and that as extra damage. In theory you can, and it will probably happen every now and then, but your Rage, there is a good chance your Rage will end, because if you drop to 0 hit points, your Rage ends, right? If you do not deal damage for 1 round, your Rage ends. And if you score a critical hit, your Rage ends. And scoring a critical hit, the chances of doing that in this game are much higher than they are in 5th edition. In 5th edition, it's 1 out of 20. For some people, it's 2 out of 20 for a champion fighter, for example. But with this, you score a critical hit by rolling your damage die. And if you roll max on your damage die, that's a critical hit. So if you have a weapon that deals a d8, it's 1 out of 8. On a d12, it's 1 out of 12. So it will happen much more. So your Rage will end much quicker. And that's why I think the Intensifying Fury is really cool, because you want to stack up those d6s and then do that extra damage as much as you can until the Rage ends, right? At Savage Arsenal comes in at level 4. So at level 4, you can, I have to peek right here, learn 1 ability from the Savage Arsenal. If you perform a notable act of destruction or a feat of strength during a long rest, you may exchange 1 Savage Arsenal ability you know for a different one. Savage Arsenal abilities are Into the Fray. You leap your speed towards an enemy and you land adjacent to 2 enemies, make an attack to one of those enemies. That's one of them. That's an active thing you can have. You leap your speed. If you land in front of 2 people, you can hit 1 people for free. Doesn't cost you an action point. Death Blow. When your Rage ends on a crit, which happens a lot, apply your Fury dice damage to the attack again. I like this one because there's some min-maxing potential here. You could really use a die where chances of ending your Rage are higher, right? By choosing the right type of weapon. More blood. When you score a critical hit, you may continue to Rage, but you can only use that 2 times per long rest, which is often enough. You're next. As an action, while raging, you can make a skill check to demoralize an enemy within 60 feet. Rolling higher than their remaining HP will cause it to immediately flee the battle. So you can give somebody a chance, basically, to flee instead of you just like crushing them under your great sword or battle axe or whatever. Then there's Whirlwind. 2 actions damage all targets within your melee weapon's reach, but it costs you 2 action points, right? So yeah, that's how the basic classes are set up. Now, this is just until it's up to level 5 if I'm not, level 5 if I'm not mistaken. So there's much more. I think there's going to be 20 levels. I'm not sure. I have to lie about that. But that is how all of the classes are basically set up. I really like that. There are subclasses, of course, Spirit of the Wolf, Spirit of the Bear. And I like that almost all of these classes, or I think all of them, maybe only like a few of these have that thing where you can change one of these. So you only know one of these at level 4, right? But you can change them out during a long rest. But in order to do that, you need to you need to perform a notable act of destruction or a feat of strength during a long rest. I have no idea how I would fill that in. No idea. I don't know. Move a rock out of the way, I don't know. Fart so loudly that the entire campfire just explodes. I don't know. It's up to the player and the GM to work that out, but I don't really know how to fill it in. If you know how to fill it in, put it in the comments below, because I really want to hear. So the cheat is kind of the same thing. It is Rogue, level 1, Vicious Opportunist. Once per round, when you hit a distracted target, you may change the primary die roll to whatever you like. Changing a die to the maximum value counts as a critical hit. Any target that cannot see you is taunted by or adjacent to an ally is distracted. Really cool stuff. There's sneak attack, cheat. Once per round, you may either move or hide for free. If you roll less than 10 on initiative, you may change it to 10 instead. If you roll less than 10 on a skill check, you may change it to 10 once per day. That kind of rogue stuff. Really, this is really like, it doesn't matter what skills you're proficient in or whatever. It is really like, take 10. The 3.5 rule or the 3.0 rule. Take 10. As a rogue, it makes sense because as a rogue, you are the kind of person who's kind of like good at everything, and like you excel at some things, but you are really a person with a lot of skills, right? Or at least you know how to adapt to being the person with a lot of skills, if that makes any sense right there. So underhanded abilities, again, at level... Where is it? Where are the underhanded abilities? Wait. Oh man, I might have read this completely wrong. Where are they? Underhanded abilities. Pocket Sand. When you defend against a melee attack, force the attacker to reroll an attack or with disadvantage on the attacks. Am I like... Choose... Oh, cheat sheet. Choose an underhanded ability. If you spend a night talking shop with other roguish types, you can exchange one ability for another. Oh, that's cool. So if you are in an inn or whatever, and there's another roguish type there, and you start to like really chat them up and talk with them about like how you fight and your tactics and all that stuff, you may change one other underhanded ability. There's Pocket Sand. Always really cool to roleplay Pocket Sand, right? It's like a Pocket Sand. I'm out of here. Fainting attack, twist the blade. When you land a sneak attack, you may force the target to make a strength saving throw. On a failure, instead of rolling your sneak attack dice, they deal the maximum amount of damage once per encounter. Yeah, and then there's the mage. Same thing, but for spells, right? So the spell shaper. Now there is something with where is it that it says? Oh, right here. There is this really... So there's a spell shaper, extra dimensional vision, strength, right? You can do all kinds of things. You can choose like one thing that you can do. It costs you mana point to change the damage type of a spell or reduce the mana cost of a spell by 2, but that costs you an extra action. So if you have a spell that you can't afford because you are out of mana, you can use an extra action to cast that spell, which is really cool. By the way, this thing has mana. I think it is 2 plus your intelligence at level 2, and then per level you gain 2 mana, and whenever your intelligence increases, you also gain a mana. Now, the cool thing here is the Mage of Control. This is a subclass. Now, get this. Demand Control. I think there's a typo here, but I'm not sure. If it isn't a typo, then I don't know what they are really going for, but I think it is a typo. So, Mage of Control, Demand Control. Whenever you cast a tiered spell, you may spend 1 additional mana to demand control. Choose one option from the control table. If the spell misses, they say right here, you must demand control for free. That doesn't make any sense to me, especially since with the Mage of Chaos, it says if your spell is a critical hit, you must invoke Chaos for free. So I think this should be critical hit right here. But that said, there's something really, really cool here. Choose an option that has not been chosen yet. Resets when you roll initiative, so at the start of an encounter, or all options have been chosen. So you have four of these. I insist, burn, no, and last but not least, lose control. But you need to have all of them checked off in order for you to reset the table, like in one encounter. If the encounter ends before you have had to use the lose control ability, that's cool. You can just reset it, right, for the next encounter. But in one encounter, like a boss fight that takes a lot of rounds, you need to do all of this. So you're gonna end up losing control at a certain point. That's just a given. Lose control is something that happens, that's gonna happen, because if they say if the spell misses, it's probably crits, but in either way, if you cast spells, it could miss and it could crit. Chances are it's gonna happen a lot, and you must demand control for free. So you must do that right there. So the lose control thing is gonna happen to you. So, I insist is you can cast a cantrip for free. Doesn't cost you an action. Burn is a creature of your choice within 60 feet of you gains the burning condition, which is cool. Just like, you burn a certain person. No is an enemy of your choice cannot harm you during its next turn. Really cool as a mage. I think it would have been really, really, really cool if no was like cannot harm you or an ally of your choice during its next turn, because that gives you a little bit more team play, crowd control there, right? That's just my opinion. That's how I think it would make that little thing just a tiny bit cooler as a mage. And then lose control. An enemy immediately gains control of you until the end of your next turn. It cannot spend your mana. You get an additional turn after that. So I think that's really cool. If you're holding, like, I don't know, a sword, or you're holding a stick, you can really be like next to your ally and then be like, and you just knock your ally out, right? Because it could be a crit, and it could be like, because you just roll a damage die, right? Yeah, I really like this subclass, the Mage of Controls. I like the randomness of it. I like the Mage of Chaos is more random because it is a chaos. It's kind of the same thing, but it's with a chaos table. Rolling a 1 is really bad and rolling a 20 is awesome, but that is often like too much chaos for me personally. This is like controllable chaos. That's why it's called Mage of Control, but still chaos. You never really know when what is going to happen when, right? I absolutely love these classes. And then there's the Oaths Sworn. I'm probably been recording this video. It's probably taking too long already, but I really like it. So the Oath Sworn, just the same thing, but it is for the Paladin. Unstoppable Protector, for example. Gain 5 feet of speed. You may interpose even if you are restrained, stunned, or otherwise incapacitated. If you interpose for a non-combatant NPC, you may interpose again this round. So, the Oath Sworn is like a paladin. protecting his allies, buffing his allies, all of that stuff, right? Your aura increases by 30 feet radius. You have an aura, whereas it's like these. That's something that I'm struggling with. Often they have like this name for something, but then they have an other name in the other part of the text, and you really need to look for it, although it's supposed to be like a super simple, easy thing. The RPG is supposed to be like quick reference kind of stuff. Yeah, it is. Where is the aura? Where is the aura? Where is the aura? Where's the aura? Yeah, I cannot find it for the life of me right now. Then there are spells. There are spells for you. So yeah, this preview PDF right here is enough to get you playing, because you have like the first 5 levels of 4 party members, the berserker, the cheat, the mage, and the paladin. So you basically have a damage dealer / tank, you have a damage dealer, you have a spellcaster, and you have kind of like the healer, protector, buffer. So you have like this party thing going on for you, so you have a strong party and can really start playing. There's also tips in here for how to use different, like how to run monsters and how to like take monsters from 5th edition and how to run them in this game, because you can't just take a monster from any book you have for 5th edition and just simplify it using the Nimble rules, and you can start playing and you can start having fun with Nimble. So if you want to start having fun with Nimble, make sure to download this booklet for yourself. Link is in the description below, and until next video, bye bye.